Good morning guys, how are we doing? Today is October the 13th, 2021. As you can see, it's still pretty dark. It's actually looking a lot more daylight out here than it is, but the street lights are still on, which means that it's definitely not very bright. And it's very nippy, and you can tell that winter is setting in, autumn is setting in. You know, because it is what it is, I guess. But what have we got out in the garden still? Well, there's a few things kicking on still. We didn't have much luck earlier in the season with nasturtiums, but I seem to have a bit of a triffid that volunteer grow itself from last year's ones that I'd put in, but see these little flowers, they are still here, and what I want are the seeds. I'm kind of hoping they're going to be coming out fairly soon. You can't see very well because it is very dark still, obviously, but we still have our brassicas out here. That one obviously has died a death, but the rest of them seem to be doing fairly okay. Like, we're getting little sprouty bits of broccoli and stuff, which I'm quite happy about, you know, because stuff. Is that actually not focusing because it's so dark? Oh my god, there you go. Ta-da! Beetroot is still going wild, which is awesome. They're going absolutely bonkers, which means that I'll have more to pickle very soon, hopefully. The other thing is these raw beans. Now, there are beans on here, but I want them to dry out because these are going to be our seeds for next year. We didn't get a lot of beans on here, but we did get a couple of meals out of it, which was quite nice. And since they were only like £2 for the thing, so I was quite happy with that. But I would prefer them as seeds for next year than what's left anyway, than eating, which is cool. But it was an experiment to see if we could grow climbing beans in baskets, and actually it worked. I don't know how well you can see, but we're still getting strawberries. As you can see, we've still got strawberries coming on. Got to search them out a bit. But we've still got strawberries coming because these are late fruiting strawberries, most of these. Oh, look. Got one. There you go. So they do fruit. And they do pretty awesome. Just trying to find them before the curly bugs do, when they get to the ripe stage. Pill bugs, or whatever you want to call them, wood lice, pretty much known as here. Oh, look. Hang on a minute. What's this down here? Yeah, this one was gotten. Oh. I think next year we're going to have to look at maybe hanging them up a bit. We still have loads of runners to put in. That's the garbage van. Right, we're going to chuck that in the corner because it's not ready. But I've got a couple. Now this here, excuse the noise, is the very last of our grisettes. Now, it does have a couple of fruit left on it, and I'm kind of hoping that they will still grow. They're not really showing much promise of growth, but the plant's still alive. So I'm going to give it another week, and if they've grown, they've grown, and if they're not, it's all coming out, because it's the last one. In our brassica bed, we've got our little Brussels coming on. Let's see if I can find a better one. There you go. More Brussels sprouts. They're still happening. So there's a shed ton of whitefly, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, it's like confetti in here. I could almost take the nets off, to be honest. I don't think that one's a Brussels. I think this one actually has something in it. So that could be, I don't know. It could be a cauliflower, it could be a romesco. I don't know, we didn't label them. But everything in there is still going strong and happy. And that's what we want. That's what we want. And in here is the polytunnel. A little bit different to what it was in the summer, but it's a good place to protect the fruit trees over winter, especially the peach, which struggled last year. And this is our bean experiment that we did, the pantry beans. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there's actually edamame on there. And on there. This is really my fault because I didn't get them into bigger pots soon enough. But we got some, which means it can be done. Some on there too. Now, the black-eyed beans not so much, but the pistachios are still doing really well. I'm yet to see how they're going to survive over the frost, but they should be fairly well protected in here. And the chickpeas as well, they're still going mad, which is quite wonderful. And there was the other day a couple of little flowers, so we shall just have to wait and see. But you know, the point is this: we experimented with pantry staples because I wanted to show you guys that you don't have to fork out money if you've already got stuff in your cupboards. Now, if they're in your cupboards, usually means you bought them on purpose, usually means that you're going to eat them. And if you're going to eat them, then why not use a handful and grow them if you can. As you can see, the chickpeas and the beans and stuff don't take up that much room. They're in 10-litre buckets, and you could have one of those on your kitchen shelf if you really wanted to. Kitchen window or whatever, or as a house plant, because actually those chickpeas are pretty cheap. Pretty. Okay, so that's a very quick catch up on what's happening in the garden. There is a lot more to do. But to be completely honest with you, I'm just not well enough right now. I've had to go through hoops to get in to see my doctor, who I should have seen months ago, and didn't, and then promptly got told off by the doctor by not ringing, who I just turned around and went, really? So I've got to go and see them first thing in the morning. I apologise for the 12 weeks leading to Christmas video not being up yet, but like I said, I just have not been well enough to do it. But I will get them up when I can and get this stuff done. I mean, yesterday, all I was fit for was I was able to make some stuffing for some baguettes that we roast chicken and gravy baguettes, stuffing baguettes that we wanted for tea, and that's all I was able to do. I was only able to do that because I had a food processor. It took about 15 seconds, was all done, and that was that. Now, the depending on what I'm told today will depend on when the next video comes out, I think. I have been struggling incredibly badly after the events of the past month or so, and that has a direct knock-on effect to my physical well-being. Because what fibromyalgia is it doesn't matter if it's physical or emotional, mental pain that you are going through, it will manifest it in some way physically. So anything that actually already hurts, or you don't really notice is hurting because, you know, it's not so bad that day or whatever, is thrown at you tenfold, sometimes 100-fold. And the last week or so, it's been upwards of 100-fold. One of the reasons that I don't ring the doctors when this happens is because I don't see the point. There's nothing that they can do. One, it's a palaver to ring them, and I mean, I had to wait nearly an hour on the phone 2 days running because they're only allowed to do one thing at a time when you're on call to them. And I needed medication the day before yesterday. I needed pain meds, and so I was told to ring back, which I didn't do till yesterday, and I was basically called a liar by the receptionist because I said that I would wait the 3 weeks to see my doctor if I had to, if she was on holiday, which I'm not impressed with at all. To me, it goes to show that they're not trained in any way to deal with anyone who is chronic pain or has mental health issues or any of the above. They're only trained to answer the phone and write down numbers. The online booking system is a trigger for me, not just PTSD wise but Asperger's wise. I don't like putting information down that isn't correct, and the questions they ask are obscure. And for someone who is neurodivergent, obscure questioning is triggering, especially when you have someone who is openly confrontational, who shouldn't be. And when you try to talk to them and try to explain, they cut you off. Which I ended up throwing my phone at Tanny. He had to catch it in midair pretty much and finish the call. Otherwise I wouldn't have got in to see a doctor at all, or even got a call back yesterday. But I did. I got a call back from my doctor, who's assured me that the doctor that I needed to see today, because she doesn't have appointments for the next 48 hours, which means I'd be waiting till next week, is safe and trustworthy and like her. So I said to her, look, I will need to bring in my partner because my mental health is at this point that I have zero tolerance or ability to control my emotions at all. It just doesn't exist right now. And if I get overwrought or spoken to wrong, I'm liable to fly off the handle, because I don't have the physical capability to control that at the moment. So that was fine. She wrote a note down because normally they're only letting one person in at a time, but she understands that this is something that I need and I wouldn't be asking if it wasn't necessary. So yeah, anywho, so that's where things are at. That's the most I've been outside in nearly 2 weeks. Well, yeah. It's the most I've been outside since the last 5-minute video that I did outside. I certainly haven't been out front. Certainly don't feel safe out the front. But anywho, it is what it is. Life is what it is, and you just keep going. Or you try to. You do those little bits every day. You can find 10-minute jobs to do. Do a 10-minute job. And if you can't do a 10-minute job, do a 5-minute job. And if you can't do a 5-minute job, write something down. If you can't even do that, just rest. Allow your body to rest. Part of the issues that I'm facing is I have autistic burnout. Autistic burnout is normal people, when they have burnout and they know. People with autism do not understand when they have burnout. So when they finally do have burnout, the whole world knows about it. And it can come out verbally violent or even aggressive, where your brain literally is leaking out its ears because you just can't focus or do the things that you normally do anymore, and you need to just stop. I was hoping that just doing the one video a week was going to help. Unfortunately, because of other factors, that has also become an issue. But I will be putting out what I can, when I can, as soon as I can. And even if I put 2 weeks worth of videos out at the same time, I will catch up at some point. So please be aware of that. But I'm not going to put pressure on myself to do it. I was in pieces earlier this week because I hadn't got them out. Was panicking very badly because last week Tanny had to literally carry me to the bathroom and to the chair and what have you, so I was struggling even just to walk 15 feet. So I can do that now, and I have use of my arm now because my arm wasn't working either. So yeah, but things are on the up and we'll just see how we go. But basically I have to take it easy and go really, really carefully at the moment, and that I will. So you guys, if you need to rest, take the rest. Be pleased with what you've done and what you've got and all of that. I've been on YouTube for just over a year now. A year and a week. I wasn't able to put it up last week. I'd forgotten all about it. And I just wanted to say thank you to all of you who've made it this far with me, who've joined somewhere along the way, who are continuing to follow this complete lunatic on her journey of self-sufficiency on a rainwater budget, because some of us can't afford beer. Yeah, so take it easy guys. I love you guys heaps. Blessings.